We all know that Thomas has a long history of expansive merchandise. When a show has this many characters, any single one is bound to be somebody's favorite. I think this is a large reason why Thomas's mini toy lines are so beloved. You could pretty much get whoever you wanted in any toy line, barring a few exceptions. But the television series isn't the only part of this franchise. The original source material, the Railway series, also found itself with a handful of toys over the years. Several lines tackled book characters, and in this retrospective series, we will be looking back at them. Since Thomas Wooden Railway is easily the toy range with the highest number, that will be today's focus. If you'd like to see a part 2 covering Ertl, Take Along, and Take and Play, make sure to smash that subscribe! Jokes aside, happy 81st anniversary to the Railway series. Now, let's get into the list. First is the 60th anniversary Henry. This released in 2005 and features Henry stylized after a specific illustration from the story Edward, Gordon, and Henry. This of course depicts Henry in the middle of being repainted blue after helping Edward deliver Gordon's stranded passengers. This toy has always been fascinating to me for several reasons. It strikes me as an odd choice to make this over a fully blue Henry, as seen in the following book. He also has two pretty glaring accuracy issues. First, the paint colors are swapped from the illustration. The green should be blue, and vice versa. I can only assume they swapped it to make him more green and more identifiable as Henry. Henry is also in his new body shape, a form that he wouldn't take until after being sent to crew. This one is easier to explain since Learning Curve never produced an old shape Henry tooling. Despite that, I, and plenty of others, really like him, with him fetching pretty high prices sealed. Culdee the Mountain Engine is one that many Wooden Railway fans are very familiar with. He was a decently common release, certainly being a lot of kids' first exposure to this character. Culdee's first iteration was really weird. He has a running board, despite not having one in the book. He's far too dark of a shade of purple, he has a tiny face, his funnel is too far back, and whoa, what happened here? Oh, this is terrifying. There were a few ways to get him. By himself, the Roundhouse set, the Day at the Works set, or in this 2-pack. In 2005, they updated Culdee, and I love this version so much more. They fixed the funnel, they sloped the boiler, and they got the color pretty much perfect. And they also added a plastic skirt around the wheels to be a bit more accurate. My only complaint is the enormous face at the back. It looks like a California raisin. This version was available with the Apple Orchard cars, something that doesn't really make any sense for the Culdee Fell Railway to have. The final Culdee was released in 2015 and is a downgrade from the previous one in my opinion. However, I do love the CGI-ish face, I love the mechanical detailing, and the red, well, it's not a buffer beam, Culdee doesn't have buffers, whatever this is. I think both faces are great adaptations, and I'm glad to own this guy. To help Culdee pull his passengers, we also have Catherine. I have really conflicting feelings on this one. I am glad that we have her to pair with Culdee, but she's very off from her book depiction. All of the accuracy issues stem from the fact that this toy is actually based on the truck. There's several giveaways. Catherine has 3 windows above her face, and the truck has this configuration. Catherine is also packed with this supply wagon, which is seen in the book behind the truck. Her early prototype shows her as dark brown, pretty much solidifying that this toy was misidentified. It's a shame too, since a proper version of both characters would have been great. I'd love to make a custom of her someday that's more accurate. Despite very little time in the books, Ivo Hugh made his way into the line in 2002. I don't have an awful lot to say about him, but it's really cool to get a toy of the book version of the Skarloey Railway livery. Those blue lines are snazzy. Due to the way this toy is designed, his cylinders are above the wheels, which is a bit silly. Ivo Hugh is one of the characters with a face directly based off of an illustration, and I love that they tried their best to match it. He looks a little sleepy though. For some reason, most likely overstock, they packed him in with Percy Takes the Plunge. Weird. Staying with the narrow gauge theme, Learning Curve made Ada, Jane, and Mabel. These 3 open-air carriages are all identical except for their faces and their names painted at the rear. They all came as a 3-pack that had a really beautiful photo at the back. Man, toy product photography is such a lost art. These 3 are pretty great, not much else to say. Neil is one of the biggest head-scratchers, being another character with very little devoted time in the series. His Wooden Railway model is pretty good, probably thanks to his very simple design. His face is based directly off this illustration, and I think it looks pretty good, but the lack of eyebrows is really creeping me out. He has eyebrows, guys, like, come on. Mike is another great addition to the wooden range, first coming out in 1998. He released in several sets, making him a bit common. A few details I really like on him are the dome and the footplate for his driver. His prototype also looks to have painted eyes. That's cool. He got an updated model for Legend of the Lost Treasure in 2015, but since that's not part of the books, I won't really get into that. While we did get the CGI version of Bert, we unfortunately didn't get book versions of any of the other Arlesdale steam engines. But we did get Frank. He came out in 2001, and I love this guy. There's so much detail. His red lining, the nameplate, the vents, the painted lamp, the black running board, he's just so cool. It's such a shame that he was available for less than 2 years. D199 got several iterations in this line, and the first two from the 90s are very similar apart from a few small details. I vividly remember thinking this guy was really weird as a kid. Why is he yellow? Does he have jaundice? Even though his body shape is very simple, I love all of the painted details. It really helps him resemble the Class 46 basis very well. My favorite detail has got to be the British Rail double arrow. A funny little thing that I noticed, my 1996 and my 2000 copies of D199 have flipped roofs from one another. That's strange. In 2005, he got a rounder model with a new face and updated paintwork. He also got another face update in 2015. Even though he went through several faces, I don't feel like any of them really match his attitude in the book. And now on to everybody's favorite, Flying Scotsman. There's not much I can say that hasn't been said a million times before, but here we go. His original release from 1999 is iconic, but very odd. His face is based off this illustration of Henry, but I'm sure most of you guys knew that already. For some reason, he is a completely unique model, rather than being a retooled Gordon. It's a bit jarring, especially considering the fact that they are both brothers, but I digress. In 2013, he got a remake. I like this one a lot more because of the extra detail. He now has the proper British Rail crest on the cab, splashers, the boiler lining. His face is still Henry's, but now it's larger. I prefer the older face with the black rim around the smoke box. Both versions of this toy are extremely popular and ridiculously expensive online. I own one single tender, and that's it. A tragedy. Now going back to rolling stock, a truck with the branding Fred Pelham made an appearance in a single illustration in Toad Stands By. Troublesome trucks in other colors is great, and pretty much everyone loves this toy. The coal detail is unfortunately not removable, but the texture is great. It's worth mentioning that the name on the toy ends with a Y and not an M. I don't blame Learning Curve for this goof. It's a bit hard to read, especially in lower resolutions. And our last character for this segment is the Spiteful Brake Van. Surprisingly, Learning Curve based him off the book appearance rather than how he appears in the show, something that Bachman also did for some reason. The Spiteful Brake Van is shown off in the story to either have a black or a white roof, and the toy ended up going with white. The face seems to be based off of this specific artwork. I'm really glad that they made him as part of the wooden railway range, just because all of the cabooses get a little bit boring after a while. And now on to the honorable mention section. Origins James depicts his look from The Adventure Begins, which is of course a reference to the Railway series. For a long time, people thought that this truck in Toad Stands By was the same truck as the wooden railway version of Rickety. In recent years, it's pretty commonly agreed that this was just a coincidence and Rickety isn't a specific character, but rather that's just a descriptor of his toy's rocking feature. And last but certainly not least, Thomas 1942 edition. This isn't related much to the books, but it would be wrong not to mention it at least. This toy resembles the original wooden toy crafted from a broom handle made by Wilbert Awdry himself. The rest is history, and the toy honors that legacy beautifully. And that was every Railway series wooden railway toy. Unless I forgot something, don't be mad if I did, guys. I grew up with Take-Along, okay? This project took a little while to compile, so thank you to the Thomas and Wooden Railway wikis for helping with so much of the information. Like I mentioned before, if you want to see a continuation covering the die-cast toys based off the books, liking and subscribing would help a ton. I'm not too sure when I'll start part 2. I still want to get through reviewing the new reboot toys, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. If you made it to the end, thanks for sticking with me. Happy anniversary. I'll see you guys next time.